So this is a video on the Toshiba V8600, top-loading Toshiba Betamax, 4-head, perfect stills, really nice machine. I love these machines actually. Now this, as you can see, there's two of them actually. And the plan is to make one good one out of two. This one has been in a little bit of damp at some point in its life, bits of rust and whatever, and yeah, has been a little bit in the walls as well, postage wise. The top cabinet, sorry, was broken. Front cabinet was also badly cracked. The second machine, the front's actually okay, but some of the tabs are broken up, so they'll have to be fixed. The other machine is in much better condition. I think this is going to be a good machine, and transfer over the front electronics. It was smashed on this one, and I used the parts off it for another machine, so I need to transfer the clock and everything over. And it's also, you see, smashed again, the front, and I don't know if you can make that out, but it's actually a little bit bent. The actual metal parts are bent, so they'll have to all be straightened. The whole thing is actually slightly pushed to one side at the base. So yeah, a bit of a problem. I think I've got a good bottom cover for it as well, but we'll get to that as and when. That isn't handy at the moment. The other thing that slightly concerns me is it rocks. I wonder if the chassis is actually slightly bent, but we'll see. So let's have a look at this. These are the lids for it, and this is the other cover. Shame, because it's a fairly tidy machine actually, but it's all just smashed up. People don't wrap them properly. They need to be wrapped properly, packaged up properly. So yeah, we'll have a look at it, get it on the bench just now, and see what we can find. So let's see what we can do with these two machines. This is the one I hope to be able to resurrect. It has actually got its mains cable removed, and I can't remember why. Yeah, I do remember. It actually came like that. Quite possibly, it didn't say anything on the listing. I mean, it's one of those things that technically, unless it's had an electrical safety test, it shouldn't be sold on eBay with the lead and plug on. Nobody seems to really take much notice of that. Yeah, it's tends not to be really policed at all, to be fair. So you see there's a sliding mechanism. It's actually quite cool how they do that. So I'm just going to take this out, and hopefully, well, have a look at the damage first. It actually doesn't look too bad. The board stay is a bit bent. Sort of straightened. It's actually quite weak. Not a lot of strength in it. It's just really a carrier. But the other thing is trying to straighten these sides. And the thing with these sides is that they are actually what bottom covers screw to. So they do need to be pretty true, otherwise the bottom cover will sit wrong. And I'm just going to try and straighten that assembly. What the bottom cover sits on, or screw to, if that's wrong, then probably either the bottom case won't fit properly, and it'll sort of it'll be a bit all over the place, or it'll wobble. You know, you put it on the table, it'll wobble on the table. Now I don't doubt I'll never probably get this fully true, because it is quite distorted. Although it's looking a lot better. I mean, the other chassis is better, but the other chassis has rust on it. I don't really want a rusty machine. I mean, I know nobody will see it, but the thing is I know it will be rusty, and it's just not nice. You know, I mean, I've got a good chassis. It's just a bit bent from transit damage. So why not? Why not try and use the better chassis and everything? So that's now looking, can't really show you that easily, but it's looking a lot straighter. Yeah, it's actually looking really good. Be careful where I rest it. That corner's probably better than the other, but anyway. So the next thing, gosh, I don't believe it. It's actually got, I don't know whether you can see that, an intact capstan belt. In fact, these have been changed. Did I change them? No. Oh, we'll check that. We'll give that a go, because these belts feel new. Relatively new. Well, we'll give it a test. Yeah. Wow. Cool. So, you have to be a bit careful because it rests, resting a little bit on the switches. So now I'm just running the belt, because if the belt is sort of starting to show its age, because it's been sat a long time, you'll see like a little ridge in the belt where it's been around the actual capstan motor for, you know, a long time, and you'll see that as a pronounced ridge in the belt as it revolves. This hasn't got that. This looks really tidy. I'm really pleased with that. So for now, and again, this depends on how you feel, but I know it's a bit of a faff, but it is only 2 screws, and if I'm going to turn it over and work anywhere else on the machine, I always put the screws back in. I know I've got to take these back out again, I need to clean it, have a look at what grease is as well, we'll check the greasing. But invariably, if I don't put both screws in, turn it over, I can clip the board, catch it, break it. The machine is much heavier than that board can actually take pressure-wise, so I'm putting the screws in. So the next thing is this this mains connector, and this has, I have actually done one of these many years ago. A mains connector, mains lead, of course, and the back cover has this split type plastic, isn't it? I just don't really want to damage it. If I can help it, there we go. So that's pulling out now quite nicely. And that isn't actually red tape as such, it's actually clear plastic. Probably just a marker for the factory. So now that's out. Next thing now, sorry the lighting's so bad, I'm sort of working against the light, aren't I? So next thing is to remove the cover, that just some clips. Whoops. Several clips on it. Some clips. And we've got, I think there's enough sharpness in the end of this now. They are very blunt. I don't use them for cutting stuff normally. And then we'll just remove the two wires. I'll chop the lead off the other one and pop it on, and everything will be fantastic. Now to change some panels. I'm going to change all of the front panels over to this machine, and also have this. This is a panel from a machine I sold on eBay back last year, and it actually got absolutely trashed in the in delivery, and actually sent two machines really well wrapped, and they both got damaged. It's the only time I've actually had machines damaged in transit. So I have actually changed the way I pack, using double boxes now rather than a single sturdy box, and lots of packing. But yeah, that was a bit unfortunate. So so let's see what we can do. So yeah, just saw me cleaning, or starting to clean this panel up. And this machine has been in more damp than I'd realised. Just went to start to clean the plastics, and this just effectively just fell off, and it's actually rotted through the pins. The damp has rotted through the pins. Oh gosh, it's just like falling apart. So I'm going to have a think on this. I think I might have one of these boards, which would be the ideal. Otherwise, I'm going to have to try and repair this board. Clean it up, check it's okay. But that is not good. So I've now changed or swapped over the front panels on the V8600. One of the LEDs, one of these, pulled off. It's actually this one. And it fell off because, you can see that, this LED has actually the legs are completely rotted through. And what I've found with that donor machine is it's actually been in the wet. So much so that on the front panel, so obviously the front of it's been getting wet. The front panel, the water's been getting in through here, dripping down, and had taken that one out. It had missed, it had actually missed most of the front panel. It was actually in the other front. This is a different front. So this is nice and tidy anyway, it hasn't had any water damage. But it had actually gone down here, through there, and been dripping into this. This one's fine, seems to be anyway. But yeah, it just came off. So what I've actually done to keep the LEDs as original as possible, I nicked the LED off the other clock set board, and just swap that over, so hopefully it'll be alright. I haven't tested it, but it should be okay. So, moment of truth, let's fire it up. I'm not even going to use the Variac for this, because I can't see there's going to be any major problem. So it's a good start. Now, I've not cleaned this, and I have to say the upper drum is looking incredibly worn. It's the top part of it that seems excessively worn, like the very top part of it. So where the heads actually are, actually doesn't seem that bad. So I'm going to try it. I have got another upper drum in better condition, but yeah, and obviously it does look as if the belts have been changed on it as well. The pinch roller looks original, and the idler tyres are looking tired. I've not touched those, but we'll see what happens. The only belt that I found was troublesome was this one belt here onto the counter. Doesn't really matter anyway, but I've changed it. So that's looking good so far. That's loaded. Okay, so let's see if it will do anything. So try winding. Yeah, that's winding. Yeah, I think probably could do with a clean. Ooh. That's sounding like an idler problem. Oh, that actually sounds like the pinch roller isn't actually engaging. Oh, that's because I pressed Q. Well, it does seem to be playing. This thing I'm holding here, this is a little arm that detects if there's too much slack in the take-up, i.e. if an idler is poor or the tape's poor, and the tape starts looping up. Little magnets on the top of this arm, you can just about see it there, and it actuates this little reed switch. So let's see if it'll actually... Yeah, not quite enough. Although I don't know. I mean, it seems happy enough to play, just not with an awful lot of tension. So my guess is that probably the take-up idler is poor. I'm going to try cleaning it, which may well be enough. I think I might have one, so I can always swap it out, but I'll see what the quality of the original one's like. I mean, obviously it can't be that bad. I mean, it's been sat for years, and this is the first time it's been turned on in years. Yeah, I'm going to give it a go, I think, and just give them a clean. Oh, that's almost... Oh, so close. So I thought before I cleaned up that idler, I'd just show you how you can sort of trick the machine into thinking it's got a tape in. It's actually really easy with these machines. So if we push that down, two separate little things that pop up here to detect a cassette in, and the record protect switch there. So cassette in, push it down, and that's it. And then you get it to play by pressing play and then holding that little arm there. And you can see it's actually not doing too bad, but you might also be able to hear slightly straining rubber, which is the idler tyre, which you can see just there, which is sort of, it's the squeaking against the side of it because it's quite badly tarnished. Seems to be pretty good, but it is tarnished, so that will need a clean. I'll clean the other one as well. The belts are good. The belts seem really very, very good. So I'm not going to bother even changing them, to be honest. The deck underneath's had a service as well. I can see it's had some half decent grease put on it. So yeah, that's a bonus, that is. You can now see just how bad that wear is, though. The wind and rewind on these is actually driven from a belt from the base of the heads, and while it makes for really great winding speeds, I don't know, I think it's rather harsh on the upper head, on the whole drum assembly, to be fair. But any sort of misalignment, and this one obviously has had some, it's a bit top heavy. It just accentuates the wear, just makes it so much worse. So yeah, that's not good. But I don't know whether I can probably get my thumb there. See, there's very little torque in that. Although, fair play, it is stopping the idler. Which to me would say it's a belt problem. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to investigate all of that, and maybe I will end up putting a new set of belts on. Like I say, they seem just so good. and everything works really well, but that take-up does suggest a bad belt, unless they missed to change that one belt. Maybe. They missed to change the one tape counter one as well. Like I said, I did go through them, so they all seemed fine. Nothing dry, no excessive wear or sort of bulging, deformity in the belt. They're all pretty true from being sat for years. So yeah, I'll have a look at that and see what we can do. So I've had a look through all the belts I have, and I've managed to find a better belt. The original belt was actually not too bad, but yeah, it was maybe a little bit slack. So yeah, we'll see. I think we're in the loaded position, so that's now, oh, that's actually that's actually a lot better. That's actually working more as it should. So it actually does stopping the spool. And it's no longer stopping the actual pulley from turning, so that's good. That's really good news. So yeah, excellent. So with that belt changed, let's give it a whirl. So that seems much better. Yeah, that does seem really good. So good take-up tension there. It's actually good and solid. Still not clean the idler. The idler seems really good, but obviously that belt, I don't think it was original. I think that was another belt, but I just don't think it was up to the job, and obviously it's aged a bit, so yeah, it was just really slack. But I've checked the other belts again, and it seems fine, and the fact that it's loading so well, the loading belt was good. And the top belt's been changed as well by the looks of it, so yeah, that seems really good. So the next thing is to see what the picture's like, if there is any, and yeah, take it from there. So it's been playing now for most of the day actually, probably about 7 hours in total. I've replaced the upper drum, and that's actually got a good air cushion on it, and I'm really noticing the difference with the winding and rewinding. The new belt that I put on for the play idler, that's working fine, good take up, no longer cutting out. But one thing I did have is when it was hot, or when it gets hot, I'm getting a squeak, and the squeak seems to be coming from around the capstan area. So I did check underneath. I've cleaned the capstan itself properly. I've actually removed the whole capstan unit, and it has 2 screws underneath, and it pulls out. And and given it a jolly good clean, so that's spotless now. And also cleaned the controller while I was about it. Cleaned up the brass on the capstan motor, which is underneath. Well, this is the capstan motor, but obviously driver's underneath. And also on the head pulley underneath here is the right at the bottom of the heads, there's a pulley, and I've also cleaned that, taken off remnants of old rubber from long ago. Checked the belts yet again, and I'm more than happy that they're good. So while I was doing that, I remembered what can happen with these machines, and that's these things, these rollers. They can develop a squeak with the pressure of the tape, especially this one, because the tape is coming round here. This one can develop a bit of a squeak, with age and drying out and all the rest of it. So it's actually really easy to clean these, because the tops just come off. So we'll give them a twist and pulling up at the same time. And the top just comes off. And then that's it. No washers or anything. I think these are doped plastic, doped with graphite, so I could be wrong, but I wouldn't be surprised if they are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around them all and give them a clean, and we'll see if that gets rid of the squeak. So that's the first two done. Now I've got to do this one and this one, and obviously this one is almost impossible to get to, but there is a trick. So what you do, get it to load, and then turn the machine off, and that allows you to get to the other two. So I shall now take the tops off those. And that one actually needs a bit of a clean. You can see there's some tape. It's actually come off. Tape residue on that one. That one's come off as well without any problem. So the other thing to remember when you are putting these back on is push the tops down enough so there's no movement up and down of the actual roller, but they can still roll. You don't want them tight. That one actually is quite bad. Feels quite contaminated. So we'll give those two a clean and a very light grease, and we'll take it from there. So those two are done now, and let's load that up, unload it. Let's see if it squeaks. Oh, it still squeaks. Oh. I do actually wonder if it is the pinch roller. Maybe I'll swap that. I've got one out of the other machine, So yeah, let's give that a go. So I've put the new pinch roller in. Let's see if it's any better. No. I just wonder if I give the tape path another good clean. See if that helps. It's a bit weird. So I've fiddled around quite a bit with this actually. Yeah, it's been a bit of an odd one, but I've finally found out what is actually squeaking, and I've never had this before with these decks. It's actually, there's a roller here, and that roller is actually what's squeaking. Now I've just worked it by hand, because I don't really want to take this apart if I can help it. But it might end up that I have to just take these two off and then realign it back up, and just grease that roller. Yeah, you can still just slightly hear it. So yeah, interesting. So that's it, all done and dusted. I like the way you can see the flicker of the clock there. Quite a slow refresh rate on that. But yeah, nice machine now. Working well. Cabinet doesn't really fit that wonderfully, I have to say. It's had a bit of a hard life. That, to be honest, is just not locating properly on its little rail, so I'll sort that. But yeah, all very good. Bit of a crack there. But the actual chassis is a lot stronger than the plastic that surrounds it, so if they are ever not packed properly, then the plastic will get damaged. But this one is actually okay now, apart from its few minor injuries. But yeah, all done and dusted. So thanks for watching, and see you in another video.